My name is Dwayne Murray, 531 East Lincoln Avenue. I'm the director of the Mount Vernon G Knights and assistant coach of the New York State champion Mount Vernon Knights boys basketball team. There's a difference between blame versus accountability. Blame tends to find fault from an emotional state, but accountability is more about upholding standards or agreements. Yet sometimes placing blame is the result of recognizing one's responsibility for their action or inaction that has led to an unfortunate result. The facts are a direct line can be drawn from the issues surrounding what led to the murder of Kayla Green to the inaction of the school district and its board relative to bullying and harassment. It's been reported that coaches and parents of some of the cheerleaders made complaints to the district regarding what was transpiring. Amazingly, in response to a complaint that was made by a coach to an administrator, allegedly all that administrator said was to cancel cheerleading practice. New York State's Dignity for All Students Act, or DASA, was developed to provide public schools with a safe and supportive environment free from, among other things, intimidation, harassment, and bullying. The law further covers such incidences that occurs off school property that creates a risk for harm or bullying on school property. This remedy was available to that administrator. Could it have stopped what happened? Who knows? But we know it wasn't even considered, and now Kayla Green is dead. Why can't this district and board act proactively regarding the fighting and violence in some of our schools? Why are we constantly reactive on situations in which there's been all too numerous evidence of what's transpiring in the halls of some of our schools? One can simply ask any district security personnel, and they will tell you that most of these fights starts from disputes or beefs between students on social media. This is precisely what the attributes of DASA was designed for. In August of last year, I was on a compact committee, which included the then new principal of Mount Vernon High School. During the break in between interviews, I told the principal about the Mount Vernon Peer Diversion Youth Court that Deputy Commissioner Jennifer Lackert of the Mount Vernon Police Department had developed. It was developed to allow trained youth from the ages of 12 to 17 to hear actual cases of offenses committed by youth, to impose sanctions that reflect restorative justice principles, and for those youths to learn how to make better decisions going forward. I gave him Jen Lackert's name, and I urged him to reach out to partner with her, given the challenges that Mount Vernon High School faced. As we all know now, fighting broke out constantly at Mount Vernon High School to the start of the school year. During the week prior to the parade held this year on April 8th, I spoke with Jen Lackert on another matter and asked had she had heard from the principal. She said no. In fact, their very first meeting was Saturday after Kayla's death. That's nearly 8 months later. Reactive yet again. This is not to say that some parents involved in what happened doesn't bear some responsibility here. They absolutely do. And this is not to say that even if the board was proactive in their approach, that what they've done would have captured this incident. But the bad actions of some adults does not absolve the school board and its administration from its responsibilities. And it would be a lot easier to understand if the board took actions to at a minimum solidify what is already at their disposal, such as the Dignity Act. There are a lot of issues we could have talked about tonight, but unfortunately Kayla's death takes center stage. Some have called for the resignation of the superintendent. For me, I'm not interested in disrespecting him in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I do wish him well. But I also acknowledge the dire need to put the right people in place to get to work right now. Something has gone wrong here, and it's time for a change. Without it, we're all to blame. Thank you.